Repurposing content, though, I think the interesting thing is that, it takes it from, you kind of talk about in here about how can you repurpose something 10 ways is kind of the concept behind this. And what's your, what is your concept behind repurposing? Because once again, a lot of my audiences don't understand that sort of stuff and just how they could use it. And I call it kind of multi-marketing, right?
Sure. Well, it's just smart. I mean, it's like smart. It's just smart marketing. Like you talked about sales 101. This is just smart marketing. So how most companies do it is they'll create an ebook or a blog post that goes viral or gets a lot of attention. And then they'll say, how can we reuse this? Here's what I want you to think about. I want you to say, okay, we're going to create an editorial calendar. And as part of every piece of content we create, I want you to start thinking about different ways we can communicate that message. And so when you create your editorial calendar, let's say that you're going to start a blog. It's like, okay, here's the blog topic, and here is the audience we're targeting, and here's the keywords that we're targeting, and then I want you to put a blog to blank. What's that blog going to become? Maybe that blog is going to become part of an ebook series that we're going to stretch out the content on that. Maybe, like I've done with 2 of my books, maybe that blog becomes part of a print book. So 75% of that book you held up, Epic Content Marketing, 75% of that book comes from, with the planning of it, thank you, with the plan for how can I take these blog posts and re-engineer a book. So I started to think, okay, what are chapters? Because it's, as you know, it takes time to write a book. But how can I accomplish current goals to accomplish future goals with my book? So I'm going to think, okay, I need to write a chapter on social influencer marketing. Okay, let me do a post. That's going to be chapter 23 in the book. Or I'm going to need to do one on ROI. Okay, that'll be part of chapter 25. And to think about it that way, and then after 6 months, I've nearly got a book written. Mm-hmm. You could do the same thing with, okay, I'm going to write a blog, and that becomes a podcast. Like we do that right now with our podcast, This Old Marketing, where we say, okay, we're going to do the podcast, and then that podcast becomes a blog post. And then that will then ultimately become an ebook. And that will ultimately become pieces of content for my email newsletter. It's not rocket science. It's just sort of just thinking about the different ways we can touch our audience and what the goals are for our particular channel and how we can do the most with the time and resources we have.